What's-y?
Yeah.
What you saying, man? You alright?
Nice, yes. Nice to see you, man.
So, we've known each other, what? 3-4 years now?
I think it must have been about 2018, 19?
Was it 20, yeah, no, it would be 4 years, roughly. Because when I met you in Shenzhen, shout out to Unchained, all the family in Shenzhen. So, you're a bit of a well-travelled man, well-travelled MC. So why first of all, where have you travelled to? Let's
where have I travelled to?
Yeah, let's get that down.
So in 2005 I moved to Barcelona.
Right.
From UK, just like for 6 months.
Yeah.
That was the plan.
Yeah.
Ended up staying there for 7 years.
Fucking hell.
From there moved to Hong Kong. Stayed in Mallorca for a little bit. Moved to Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Moved to Singapore, Dubai, then back to Hong Kong. And then I came back here in 2020. So essentially like 15 years out of the UK.
Just on the road.
Travelling, pushing drum and bass, doing a bit of work in hospitality.
Yeah.
And just loving life, having fun.
So I'm assuming you met up, you know Egris, right?
Yeah,
of course you do. Yeah.
Met him in Barcelona.
Yeah.
True jungle soldier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Egris,
yeah.
Every time.
Big up, mate.
Yeah, he is a great guy. Stayed true to the jungle sound.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, no matter what was going on around him, he was just staying true to his sound.
Yeah,
good guy to know.
Yeah. And what was that like? Were you experiencing Barcelona first of all?
It was cool. So I went there just with the aim of practicing my Spanish a little bit more. I studied it to A level and then just wanted to immerse myself in the city, in the culture. I've always been a big fan of the football team.
Oh yeah.
And I've always loved the city. Like Barcelona's my second home. Love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, moved there and got a job just working as a server in Hard Rock Cafe.
Right. Okay.
4 days a week, where the job was just full on. It was like being at a party every day. And then drum and bass in the spare time. So my aim, like, I moved out there and within 2 weeks, I think I got my name on a flyer. That was one of my aims, to start getting gigs straight away. So started pushing it, started performing regularly every Thursday. Tried my best never to get kind of stuck in one crew. And just kind of be open and not exclusive, so I can work with all the different promoters.
People, right,
yeah. So I think that was key to success out there, really. And as an MC, from an MC point of view, people couldn't necessarily understand what I was saying. Yeah. Because we've got a Spanish crowd, so that made me to focus a lot more on the melody.
Right.
Okay. My style to kind of put in kind of flows that if they don't catch the lyrics, they can catch the flow.
The flow of
and
what
you can take them on a little journey like that.
So did you ever attempt to MC in Spanish?
A little bit, yeah, a couple of bars. Well, it was more, I could do a more interaction with the crowd rather than spitting bars.
Right.
Just say a few things, like make some noise, this, that, the other.
Right, okay.
But yeah, bits and pieces, but not too much.
And that's where you met our good friend, DJ Assassin, right?
Marlon, yeah. Must have met him in about 2006, 7.
Yeah.
Just outside a club, I think.
Was he living out there then?
I think he was out there for a spell before I moved out there. And he still had some connections out there, still had a few mates.
Yeah.
So I met up with him one time and I'd already been working with a lot of his friends in the scene, DJs, MCs. We formed like a little group where we performed together.
Yeah.
Marlon came out as well. I remember going around to some block of flats recording a set with like mattresses up against the walls so neighbours don't complain, old school style. Banged it out, yeah, but we had a lot of fun. And then with this group of artists, we performed across Europe, did quite a few things in Czech Republic quite regularly together. Marlon was always involved in them and just became friends really. Still mates to this day. Yeah, just had a lot of laughs while we're doing what we love. You know what I mean?
I do love that man. He'll be on the podcast very, very soon. Love you, Marlon.
Yes, Marlon, Mr. Assassin.
Mr. Assassin, yeah, amazing DJ.
We share a birthday as well.
Oh, do you? What's that? When is that?
July 11th.
July 11th. Oh, you bloody summer babies, arseholes. It's not fair. But I'm going to Miami on my birthday because it's 10th of January and so it's shit. So it's always crap and so I'm going to Miami. So shout out Esteban.
Big up the Miami crew.
Yeah, we're going out to Miami, Orlando and a few other dates. So
yeah,
that'll be good. Yeah, I'm excited, man. Really
what
excited.
Holiday? Or you got some gigs out there?
I've got some gigs out there and but then I'm there for like 2.5 weeks sort of thing. So I'm gonna get a bit of rest and R&R as they say. You know what I mean? Rest and relaxation. But Barcelona, Mallorca,
Mallorca, yeah.
Mallorca. So did you get to MC there? Or
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's a little scene in Mallorca, and the cool thing about that is when you live on one of the Spanish islands, if you're registered there, you get half price travel to the mainland and to the other islands. So I was in this situation for one summer where I was performing in Ibiza on Sundays, Barcelona on Thursdays, Mallorca on a Friday or Saturday, and just jump boom, boom, boom.
All
just like that.
All drum and bass, or in
drum and bass, yeah.
In Ibiza?
In Ibiza, yeah. We did a Sunday night. Big up Magnus, Urban Heroes. That was at Es Paradis on San Antonio.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of that.
So yeah, just did that for one summer. It was just like living a dream. I was just doing drum and bass then.
Yeah,
I didn't have any other job. I was promoting my own little nights in Barcelona.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was good fun. I was in Mallorca for like about a year, I think.
Fucking hell.
But yeah, took advantage of the discounted travel.
Yeah, just going back and forth and do your thing. So
that was cool.
That must have been quite a culture shock to be in sort of like, mainland Europe and then go to Hong Kong. So
massively.
Now the guys, what was happening there, drum and bass wise? Because
what was happening in Hong Kong?
Yeah, there wasn't.
So I got offered this job in Hong Kong doing sort of hospitality, restaurant work. Right, that's all I kind of knew. Moved to Spain and I looked for any kind of job I could get, and then got that one and started working my way up. So then I got offered this job in Hong Kong. Cool opportunity, and I had a friend out there who had a couple of contacts in drum and bass.
Right.
So before I'd even got out there, I'd already done my homework, contacted this crowd.
Right.
And on the second day I was there was a drum and bass night, and Nookie was playing there.
Go on, shout out Gavin.
Big up Gav. And I luckily performed with him a couple of times before, so he was able to put a word in with the promoter for me as well. Got me out there. So on the second day in Hong Kong, I'd already done a gig, and then that was me in. Basically.
So you just sort of walk into cities and just get gigs then? Is that just like...
pretty much. So you got to make contact with people. Yeah,
absolutely.
Show up as yourself. Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Normally helps.
Yeah.
Do a job.
Yeah.
And then leave it up to them if they want to book you again or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Lady Jules was another guest on the show. She was here when she came down to meet me. We walked past Village Underground, and she just walked into the club and just told them about herself and just asked for a booking. Do you know what I mean? Now, it might not have worked. I don't know. It might do. But I just think you've got to give yourself those opportunities, put yourself in for a chance. So, I mean, is that how you see things, like in terms of when you're, as an MC, particularly, you just walk into a club and you just sort of say, look, I'm an MC, or give them a CD, or, I mean, what
yeah, in Barcelona, it was like CDs, just to get my name out there, just go up to the club, always go to the promoter. Even in the UK, before I left UK, like the first few years of my career, how did I get bookings? There was no social media then.
Yeah.
You turn up at the raves, find the promoter,
and then give him
talk to him, introduce, shake his hand, get to know each other, give him a CD.
Yeah.
And then 9 times out of 10, that would get me a gig.
Yeah.
And then you just have to do the job on the day, right? Turn up.
Absolutely.
Do a job and then take it from there.
I mean, the number of times MCs would come in when I was doing technically a herbal, and they would say, oh, look, can I jump on the mic? It's like, well, no, mate, because we've recorded, and, it's like... But they wouldn't want to bring a CD, or they didn't bring a CD. They couldn't record, whatever. But I just think if you're doing that, guys, and you are an MC, you want opportunities, don't just roll up to an MC on the mic and say, give him a mic. Like, go find a promoter, give him a CD. It's I mean, that happened to me the other night.
That's it. Be professional, right?
Yeah, it's very, very gauche, and it never really works. And I mean, some people say, well, I'll get my CD to that promoter, and he didn't get back to me. Well, then he didn't get back to you. He just didn't, just didn't like what you're doing. It's fine. Or he forgot, so remind him or force him to give you some feedback. Like, do you know what I mean? If you can, like people do to me all the time.
Yeah, there's ways of going around things, right?
Absolutely.
Be professional.
Yeah. Talk
to people, put yourself out there, invite them to listen to your sound. Don't go spitting in their ear, lyrics in their ear, grabbing the mic, threatening the MC. The MC's trying to do his job.
Yeah.
Right? I don't go to your office and ask to sit in your chair and use your computer. Do you know what I mean?
It doesn't make any sense how people feel like they can get work that way. Do you know what I mean? But, like, at least but there is a way there's a variation of that, of walking into a club and asking, but it's just that there's that sort of demanding thing that people often do, when they sort of demand to have the mic and MC over a certain tune or whatever it is.
As if they've got a God-given right to be there and do it right.
And it's not. You got to work for it. You got to put your time in and let people know what sort of things are going on. So Hong Kong, you got stuff going there, and then is that where you met Lyndon and the guys?
Yeah, so Lyndon, Daniel, that's the Unchained lot. So
Nick,
yeah. So Hong Kong was cool because it's a very small place, and there was lots of little crews, and I was lucky enough in that I worked with pretty much all the crews.
Yeah.
Right. So from there, just been showing up and being consistent, catch other people's attention. Unchained were doing nights. Before I started working with Unchained in China, I got a big up Li-Fi, Heavy Hong Kong. He took me over to China to do a little tour. And that was crazy because we were going to these far-flung places that perhaps never even heard of drum and bass before.
Yeah.
The scene is established in places like Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, a little bit more recently.
Yeah.
But back then there weren't many other cities where drum and bass was prominent. So
Right.
this guy from Heavy Hong Kong, Li-Fi, took me to these far-out places, and we're performing in this club. The clubs were busy, but just imagine we're on stage and then everyone's on the dance floor, but the dance floor is full of tables and chairs. So everyone's sat at the table and chair watching, and we're on stage trying to give it the energy thing and get them hyped, but everyone's just sitting there watching us. And I'm looking at the DJ like, man, how long have we got left? This is too hard. In the end, we finish the set, step off the stage, and everyone's like, whoa, applause, brilliant, wanting to take pictures. They just weren't culturally aware of what it means to dance the drum and bass. No one showed them. There weren't many kind of expats there, people that have lived drum and bass scene in London, for example, and they can show them that it's about dancing and responding to the tunes.
It's about responding to music,
They didn't know that.
Nah.
And this guy afterwards, I remember, came up to me and he's like, wow, you're from UK, man. Brilliant, amazing. I love UK hip hop. I was like, all right, interesting.
Yeah.
What kind of artist are you into? He was like, Big Shaq. Big Shaq is my favourite UK hip hop artist. So yeah, they know about all the commercial stuff.
Yeah.
And the underground thing really hadn't reached them.
Right, so that does quantify what Lyndon was saying, because he, when I went out to China, he kept warning me. He said not to play Amen. And I was like, you fucking mad? You what? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm going to play it, man. Don't, you know. I mean, I heard a quote from Storm, actually, on a podcast. She used to say, she quoted Chemistry, and Chemistry used to say, never underestimate what a crowd can take. And I think that's a really great way of looking at things. I think it's a beautiful saying. And it's something that I inadvertently live my life by, because it's like, well, I'm going to play it and then see what happens, you know what I mean? And, yeah, I remember getting them going. But I remember what Lyndon told me about how they started to get the interest in drum and bass in Shenzhen, because they had to play like they played hip hop, then halftime D&B, then a little bit of jungle. And then as time went on, the jungle section got bigger, and then they started having, you know, likes of me and NTC1 and whoever else. So I love the fact that they were a little bit sort of like systematic in how you can get people to enjoy drum and bass.
Yeah, just feeding it to them little bit by little, and just educating them.
Absolutely.
Rather than going ham and just playing jungle straight away.
Yeah.
And I remember before you came out, I made contact with you.
Yes.
And I was like, yo, just to give you a welcome, you know, you're coming out to Asia.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
And you were like, oh, they told me like I can't really play my
sound.
I can't really play my Amen thing.
Yeah.
And while it's true that club, that crew are familiar with a little bit more down tempo kind of music, and not too heavy on the amens.
Yeah.
Do you remember what I told you?
Just do my thing.
Do your thing.
Yeah. I do remember. Yeah. Because I was really nervous, because Lyndon really sort of got me like, oh fuck, should I play any? I don't know whether I should or not. You know what I mean? I really panicked. He made me quite panicked, and in a way, it was kind of good like that way, because it really made me play a good set. I remember. It was quite nerve-wracking, and you were amazing as well, as always, and it was always good fun to pair up with you.
Thank you.
But it was. But then I remember I played. I think it was No One Dies, and I remember I pointed at Lyndon and I was like, "See." Do you know what I mean?
That's the thing. You did your thing, and you dealt with the job, didn't you? Really.
It was a lot of fun, man.
Job done. People loved it.
I remember how much sweat came out of my t-shirt. That was disgusting.
It was good fun.
Wrung it out. And why are the buildings so high there, man? It's like, because I suffer from vertigo, and it's just like, you know, on an 89th, 100th side of the floor, it's just like, Jesus Christ, it's so high. But yeah, that's the side.
No, that was somewhere else, man. That was in Shenzhen.
Sorry, it was in the...
You're talking about the house?
Yeah, the place where we stayed in.
Okay.
Yeah, just because it was sort of like round the corner from the club. Yeah. But anyway, I'm digressing, because I suddenly remembered how high we were and then seeing the clouds rolling and everything. But yeah, it was a beautiful trip. So you stayed. So I remember after leaving. How long after did I? You know, how long did you stay out there after I?
So I came back in 2020.
Oh, so you stayed there another 2 years then?
Another couple of years,
yeah.
I was privileged, really, living out there, because there weren't many other MCs doing it to the level that I was at, and basically I won over support from promoters across China, and other places around Asia, and just jump on plane and perform with a lot of the biggest artists. So that was my dream.
Yeah. So did you perform with them?
Plenty of people.
Right,
Don't want to name drop or anything like that. But no, I mean...
I
well, just for example, Quitting Perspective, you know, SS Prototypes, Zinc a few times, Makoto, Dot Scott, Goldie, the list goes on.
Yeah, and TC1 obviously as well.
TC1, yeah. But I mean, just like a lot of people that I looked up to from the beginnings of my drum and bass, and never believed I was going to work with them, and then have an opportunity to travel. Oh, forgetting like Hospital, like Dynamite was one of the MCs that I first really just used to just look up to so much for his style, because he's got an effortless style of performing, hosting, and just like got to meet him, and he was cool. You know, and like sommelier, right?
Yeah.
Just
I love
to find
that,
out about people, and just like to travel with people like that, and go on tour, and it's just like that was the dream for me. So at the same time, I had a day job. I was working in restaurant business. I was like running restaurants and stuff, and it was tough because it was tiring. You're on your feet all day, doing long hours, and then jumping out, doing a gig, then coming back. I was just say yes to everything. Yes to the gig, yes to the work, yes. And there's only so much you can take of that. Right? It comes to a point where something's going to break. But while I was doing it, it was just living a dream. And I'm very blessed to have had the opportunity to do it.
Because it just dawned on me, I didn't ask you what got you into MCing in the first place.
So first time I picked up a mic was the 23rd of December, 1999. So however long ago that was.
Oh right, so that's like, wow, okay.
I was at my friend's house party, and we would just like use other MCs' lyrics, because when I went to the raves, I was always drawn to the front, up at the stage, just listening to tunes. But I was watching like Skibbity, Shabba, Fearless, Debt, just getting getting hyped to the MCs. So I'm at this house party. There's a mic. Started to use their lyrics, and then when I noticed the crowd were kind of responding, I realised that there was an art form to this, and it was something I wanted to practice. So my good friend James, I saw him one day on the bus home from school. He passed me this tape, and I was listening to it, and it was him MCing over the drop of Turbulence, like the little build up and then the drop, and then he switched his lyrics, and I was like, "What? This is just my mate."
Right, okay. Which not Turbulence.
Moving Fusion.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying, come on.
No, Moving Fusion one. So that kind of inspired me to start writing some of my own lyrics. So then I met a guy called Seb, who invited me onto his radio show. My big friend DJ Slice. I think you might have met him in.
I recall that. I did actually. Yeah.
338. Yeah, good guy from Sydney.
Yeah.
So he was my original DJ.
Right.
And we did a show on the radio up at uni every Saturday from like 12 till early hours of the morning.
Right.
And that's when I would just hone my skills, practice, record it, listen to all the mistakes I made and try and improve on them, write lyrics through the week and practice them on the show. Yeah. And just take it from there, really.
Because you seem to have quite a systematic way of thinking, and would you say you approach your lyricism like that, or is it just stuff that comes out?
I don't freestyle very much.
Right, okay.
When I do my lyrics, I think about topics and then just write, or everything that I do is systematic. I love lists.
Right.
I'll have an idea. I'll have an idea of where I want to get to, and then I'll map it all out beforehand. This is the stage 1, 2, 3, 4, and then progress like that.
Right. So is that an anti-procrastination exercise, or is that
maybe it does help? It does help just to visualize where you want to be, and then figure out kind of like reverse engineer the steps that you need to get you there.
Right.
And one of the biggest learning curves I had, or the biggest learning as a young MC, because I had no one really around me. My mate James was starting at the same time as me, just having fun together. I had no other MCs around me to learn from, to talk to get advice. And I got this mad lucky break. I was performing at uni in the big club with my mate Seb. We did an early set. Then after him was Groove Rider.
Right. Okay.
And I was like, can I just carry on and host for you?
Yeah.
I've been MC for about 18 months at this point.
Yeah.
And I thought I was wicked.
Yeah.
So he's like, so I started MCing for him.
Yeah.
10 minutes into the set.
Yeah.
Nothing's coming out of the mic, right? I was one of the guys. Groove Rider's famous for this, right? But it happened to me. He switched off my mic, and that is the biggest learning I've had in drum and bass. that without using any words, I learned to respect the art form. I learned to respect the music. I learned to put the DJ first and not the MC.
Yeah, yeah.
And many other things. But that was like the first. That was like that was the wake up call I needed.
That would be a slap.
That helped me to become a better MC.
Yeah.
Without him even saying any words. And I've met him since, and we had a chat, and he had a laugh. And
yeah. I've seen him do that to other people. I mean, look, it's problematic because obviously, you know, it's sort of a bit of an arsehole thing to do to someone who thinks they're going to get to MC for a major DJ, you know. But it's his set, you know. It's his right in that way, and especially if it's not something that was prearranged, you know, he probably will, you know, sort of.
Yeah, no, I mean, it had to be done. It had to be done. But it's probably the best thing that's happened to me as well.
Yeah.
Because at the time, these things you think you're mortified, right?
Yeah.
But what good came out of it? A lot of good came out of it, and it made me better. And like, I've worked with Fabio a couple of times since then, and he was like, "No, Groove Rider wouldn't switch your mic off now. Like, you've improved," kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good enough for me.
Yeah. He did.
But yeah, it was.
What Fabio said he wouldn't do that.
He goes, no, like he wouldn't do that now.
Oh right.
Because
I've
I've
heard the improvement. Yeah. Right, I see what you mean. Yeah, because I have seen him do that a lot. I remember seeing it. It's just like God damn. Son.
But quite rightly so as well.
I mean, if he's not feeling it, he's not feeling it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done it maybe once or twice to people, but you know, I'd always sort of say, look, mate, you know what I mean? I'll say something to him, I won't just turn it off, like, you know what I mean? But I guess he just doesn't want to have the argument, does he? So it's just, you know.
You can't argue with one of the Godfathers.
You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Ministry of Funk. Mysteries of Funk. So you come back from Hong Kong, and then when you get here, obviously we linked up with you with Community D&B. I mean, was there anyone else that you sort of were working with, or
in terms of drum and bass?
Yeah.
A few people down in Kent, like some of my previous contacts, I've maintained relationships with them.
Yeah.
So I've done a couple of nights down there. Apart from that, not so much.
Right.
Not so much. I've been focusing more on other aspects rather than the music thing right now.
Yeah.
I mean, like I told you, I live my dream.
Yeah.
I've worked with so many people that I never thought I was going to get opportunities to work with. Festivals, touring, jumping on planes and going country to country.
Yeah.
So now I've got a family now as well.
Yeah.
Got a lovely partner and daughter, and I need to be with them. Yeah. Big up Alpha, big up Faye. And, you know, I can't really justify going out on a Friday night, travelling a couple of hours, get paid petrol money, come home and then not be on form for my family the next day.
Yeah.
My kind of priorities lie elsewhere.
Yeah.
So I'll still jump on the mic and I'll still do it if there's a good opportunity, which I think is worth my while.
Yeah.
Whether it's not even always about money. It's not about. It's really not about money. Everything I've done has been for the love in music.
Yeah.
I've always had to have another job, right?
It's always about opportunities as well.
Yeah. If I get a good opportunity, then I'll say yes. But yeah, I'm focused on different things at the moment, really.
And would one of them be? I mean, would that lead us on to the coaching?
Coaching. So yeah. Coaching
so
right now.
It's Keep It Real coaching.
That's right. That's the business right now.
Shout out Will Miles. You probably what? No, you got a tune called Keep It Real. It's brilliant.
Yeah, nice
Go buy it on his Bandcamp. Will Miles Bandcamp. Keep It Real. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant tune. So, I had a friend of mine goes to me like, why would anyone need a coach or a life coach, or you know, because it just sounds like a scam, or it just sounds like, you know, just a way of fleecing money out of people, you know, because, you know, if I'm being honest, I used to think that until I met Lisa and a few other people, you know. In fact, actually, Imola Kumabej as well, who has her street level redefined.
That's right, yeah. Big up Imola.
Big up Imola. She won't be watching this though. But I you know, she's got her coaching practice, as it were. I think she's one of the first people I met that actually did that, and then I met Lisa after that. But you were the first guy that I'd known to sort of do it. So for people that don't, you know, really understand or know what a life coach is there an easy way of describing it?
Yeah, I say a coach is someone who partners up with you, meets you where you're at, and walks along the journey with you and helps you to create the life you want.
Okay.
Essentially.
So that's sort of like, and how does that work?
That works through partnering up, so you've got to have trust first of all.
Okay.
And the first thing I say, like before I go into a coaching agreement with someone, is to find out how committed they are.
Yeah.
Because you can say, "Ah, load of rubbish, it's not going to work."
Yeah.
You have to be committed in order to get results.
Yeah.
Because I haven't got the magic button that fixes you.
Yeah.
The heavy lifting has to be done by the client, right?
Yeah.
So first of all, you'll come, you'll see if you're compatible to work together. You set out the kind of framework for the sessions, what you're trying to get. And at the end of the day, it's about a transformation. Right. The clients come to me because they want a transformation. They want to improve some certain aspect of their life.
Right.
And I'm here to help them do that, but to make them aware that the heavy lifting has to be done by them.
So they have to make sure that maybe you should explain that a little bit. Like, sorry, I'll let you.
What, to explain a little bit more?
So when you say heavy lifting, so someone wants to. My thing was always procrastination.
Okay.
Right. So, if I'm committed to stop procrastinating.
Yeah. What do you need? You need to take action.
Right.
Right. So that's it. So if you've got a coach, they can help you create the steps of action that you're going to take.
Right.
So what's the big goal? Again, how can I break that down into small steps that's going to help me reach my big target?
Yeah.
And they hold you accountable.
Right.
That's the main thing, because a lot of the time you go, I don't need a coach, I'm fine. And then you just go watch Netflix, then you're going to sit down and do your work, and then you'll just call your mates and go out, or you go to a rave or whatever, and it's like the work keeps going down and down your to-do list, and nothing happens.
Yeah.
If you've got someone that's going to help you stay accountable, that helps you to get the results.
Yeah.
It's like, I think anyone can benefit from having a coach,
Yeah.
but you have to be open to doing the work as well.
Yeah.
Like if you go to the gym, you can go along on your own, get some results, fine. But if you get yourself a personal trainer,
absolutely,
what's going to happen?
You'll get bigger gains faster, if that's what you're after.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Right, and it's a similar thing in coaching. If you're left to your own devices, you might get the results at some point. But if you're working with a coach, you're likely to get results a lot quicker. And the reason I figured this out was because I got myself a coach when I needed it most.
So you've been coached by a coach?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what kind of opened me up into this kind of whole world.
Right. Okay.
I was like, so this happened when I was in Hong Kong. I went through a particular difficult moment. My work wasn't going very well. I had a lot of like personal issues with my partner going on. The relationship was kind of breaking down. Physically, I broke my toe, so I was off work for a number of weeks.
Yeah.
I wasn't earning, couldn't pay my bills, and I was like, And then I got this coach to help me, and it was like, right, we mapped out a plan of getting me to bounce back from what I call rock bottom, and we created that plan together, and I got results so quickly, disconnected from anything that wasn't serving me anymore, moved to a different house that was cheaper, sorted out my finances, separated with my partner at the time, switched to a different job that allowed me to study coaching as well.
Right, okay.
Because I wanted to invest in that mainly for my own growth.
Yeah.
First of all, before I thought I want to be a coach and help other people.
Yeah.
I wanted all the knowledge that the coaches had, so I could apply it to my own life for my own personal development. Because I love learning, growth, and just seeing what can be possible, pushing myself and getting out of my comfort zone.
So is that why you got the accreditation?
Yeah. So I studied. So I studied and studied and studied, like hundreds of hours of studying and then coaching people. And now, I'm accredited with the ICF, which is like the global standard for coaches.
Yeah, I remember the
However, this is an unregulated industry.
Right,
so there's many coaches working that don't have certification, and some of them are amazing.
Yeah.
Right, they've got life experience, but in my case, I've gone down the path of getting accredited.
Yeah.
And I feel that that's beneficial to myself and to my clients, because I'm kind of bound by a code of ethics, which I have to follow strictly.
Yeah.
Also, I've got expert coaches training me all this information that I can use to help other people. Right. So to me, it's a no-brainer, and I'm still on that path, and I'm still learning more and taking it to the next level, so that I can again apply it all to myself, but then apply to other people, just to help as many people as I can.
I mean, how do you feel that's, how do you feel that's going? Is it something that, because I know you've sort of been developing things with Keep It Real coaching and stuff like that. You've sort of been on the way, but when you have your first client, do you just sort of like look at what they need and then bespoke your skill set to them, sort of thing?
So at the moment, I'm focusing on people in the music industry, because I've got personal experience there. All right, and I've got experience of living that fast-paced lifestyle, where you're burning the candle at both ends, where you're stressed out, where you're trying to perform. You have to perform at a high level, but there's external kind of things getting in the way that are holding you back or making you confused or challenging environment, right? So that's what I focus on, people in the music industry, because
Right.
I can apply that. But saying that as a coach working in the music industry doesn't mean I'm going to teach you how to make better tunes.
Yeah, that's what I
Or
mean.
anything
Some,
like
some
that.
people will be a bit confused. They'll be like, we've got Stranger for that already.
It's about reaching your. You've got Stranger, you got Heist as well.
Yeah, oh yeah, I've got videos as well. Shout out Jim. Yeah,
There you go.
Jim
But
Heist,
it's about helping people to fulfill their highest potential.
yeah.
All right, and I can help them do that by focusing on aspects such as physical aspect, your emotional aspect, spiritually as well,
Right, okay.
and then mentally.
Right,
Right,
okay.
so focusing on your mindset, so that you can handle with any unexpected challenges. Like what challenges people face in the music industry, things like self-doubt creeping in,
Yeah.
feeling you're not good enough, not confident enough,
God, happens a lot.
scared,
Yeah.
getting into the state where you can't perform unless you've had a drink or a spliff, or not being able to sit down at the studio because you think that you are scared of being successful,
Yeah,
or scared of being a failure,
yeah.
and or finding yourself in this industry and you're not in love with what you do anymore. It's just a chore. It becomes a chore.
It's so weird hearing that phrase. You said it earlier on, scared of being successful. Like, why would any? I guess I was talking about someone else, wasn't I, before that you said that? And so I'm trying to think, why would anyone be scared of success though? It's really weird.
Yeah,
isn't it?
well, imposter syndrome kicks in. They feel that they're not worthy of being successful, or they think that they're not ready for it in a capacity that they're not going to be able to handle it if they do get successful, because they're in their comfort zone. And people love to stay in their comfort zone.
Boy, do they?
But where's the growth?
There is none.
Right? If you're not growing, you're just getting smaller and you're just dying.
Absolutely.
So that's what Keep It Real coaching is about, living a life that's in tune with your values. So first of all, figuring out the things that light you up.
Right.
What makes you who you are.
Right.
And making sure that those things are aligned with the actions that you take in your life.
Right.
So that from there, you're in a powerful position to be able to grow
Yeah.
and achieve anything that you set your mind to.
Right.
Yeah. Not everything. I mean, like sometimes we set ourselves crazy goals, but
Yeah,
that's part of the good thing, right? Just aim big
Yeah.
and drive towards that.
Yeah, because you could just ask for £2 million, but you're not gonna. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, well, but how am I going to get to that point where I'm earning £2 million? And then there is probably a route through to that.
Maybe, and it probably won't happen the way you think it will.
Right.
But as long as you keep focused on the end result, keep improving day by day, keep taking the steps that's going to take you to get there, you can make it happen.
So, when are you launching Keep It Real coaching?
So it's launched already.
Oh, okay, it's launched already. So
basically,
yeah.
I got this
We'll put a link in
coaching
the description.
business. Yeah, so I started it about 3 years ago.
Right.
But since my daughter was born, when Faye was born, I kind of stopped it a little bit.
Right,
I
okay.
parked it on one side.
Yeah.
While I was just focusing on other work to bring in money for the family.
Yeah.
But now I'm increasing the levels on it a little bit. I'm pushing the faders back up on the coaching.
Yeah.
I've got a lovely group of clients that I'm working with at the moment who are across the world,
Right.
which is super cool. Everyone's involved in music, and it's just inspiring. I learn a lot from them as well.
Yeah.
It just really lights me up to learn from people and to see them growing and to see them with a desire and a passion to be a better version of themselves.
So, any rappers?
Rapper? No, there's one guy who's kind of like coming and going, but people sometimes wander into the weeds. You know, coaching is like this. They'll sign up and they'll be like, "Yeah, I'm interested, man," but especially with music industry people are the worst people to coach. Like, let me tell you, man, people just cancel it or mate, I can't do it today. You're like, so I've got to be a bit flexible.
Yeah.
Like I started off being quite strict and just, you know, if you miss your session, then that's it. You still got to pay for it. I'll give people a yellow card now.
Right.
I'm a little bit lenient because I understand music industry.
Right.
And I think that being flexible helps them as well, and it helps to build trust because we're all human beings. You know what I mean? We have our good days, we have our bad days.
Yeah. So no straight reds then, no?
Not yet. Not yet, but still anything can happen.
So, going back to the MCing.
Yeah.
So as an MC, you got into jungle. Like, how old were you when you got into jungle?
18.
18.
Yeah.
And did you start straight away wanting to be an MC, or was it like, you know?
No, so I went to my first rave at New Year's Eve '98. It was World Dance.
Right.
And one of my friends who went to uni up in London, he'd been to a few raves before. He was like, right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go in the old school room.
Wait, you set up in London. So
All
where'd you
night.
go up?
Herne Bay, Kent.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, cool,
Kent,
cool.
yeah.
Right, okay, cool.
Yeah, Nick, and I went to school in Canterbury.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was not used to the big city. the big raves. I was used to anything. I was just used for the little quiet town, right?
Yeah.
So we went to this rave, old school room all night, and I can remember, what tune was it? Valley of the Shadows.
Oh, right, wow.
All night, pretty much. That's the tune that resonated in my head on the train journey home.
Yeah.
But as it was like 6 or 7 o'clock, we went into this main arena for the last set, and the arena had been so packed all night we couldn't get in. Well, we were probably not really willing to push our way through, because the first rave and that, a bit apprehensive, and all looked a little bit moody, or you're not really sure what's going on. It was rammed anyway. We went in there, and the last set of the night was, I think, Groove Rider and Skibbity.
Oh, wow.
Drum and bass arena.
Wow.
And I was looking around, and I'd never seen a crowd that diverse, or never been in a situation with that much diversity around me.
Wow.
People from all different backgrounds in my life. And everyone was having it.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, what is this? I was like, I could feel the energy, and I was like grabbing my mate. I was like, mate, what's going on here? Just looking around, everyone from all different walks of life, just feeling it. And I was just like, wow, this thing is amazing.
Yeah.
How can music bring people together like this?
It always
what
has
else
done.
brings people together like this? You know
I think, well, I mean, church probably.
Maybe, but I was blown away.
Not that I go, but I'm just saying.
But yeah, it's just an incredible experience. And then from then on, started to just go to a few more raves, and like I said, just find myself drawn to the crowd, drawn to the MCs. And
until you like, I want to be like that guy.
That's it. I'm on a couple of the old videos from Best of British.
Yeah.
Like just up the front row.
Oh wow! You
used
to go to Best of British events. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Bloody hell.
But so, yeah, for like 5 years, I was working my way up as an MC.
Right.
Mainly in the Kent area. Started to run a few of my own nights.
Right.
Little one called Flexing Tuesdays on a Tuesday night in Canterbury. And the good thing about that was we didn't use headliners. We didn't need them.
Yeah.
I gave a platform to up and coming DJs on a Tuesday night to come down, do their thing. It was in a small tunnel underground.
Yeah.
About 100 people. We filled it every time.
Yeah, because
people loved it. And that helped me to get other bookings as well, and to kind of just make connections.
Yeah.
And then from there started to creep into the London scene a little bit to get a few gigs, because back then, if you remember, the early 2000s, there was D&B 7 nights a week in London.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
I
don't know if there was anything ever on the Monday regularly, but certainly Wednesday you had Speed or Swerve or whatever, and then Thursday had
Herbal. Thursday you had Movement.
Thursday had Movement, Friday Herbal, Saturday, wherever. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, there was Jungle probably 6 nights out of 7. I mean, I'm sure maybe some people did some
you
Tuesday
could find
nights.
things popping up just all over the place.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was amazing back then. And then to leave in 2005 and then come back 15 years later and see what had happened to the London scene was a bit of a shock.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you say that, what do you mean? Like, just like how...
Things have changed, right? So you've got to scan your passport to get into the club.
Yeah.
There's the big screens behind the DJ. Well, I mean, that developed all around the world anyway.
Yeah,
a little bit more sort of commercial.
Yeah.
No rude boys.
Yeah.
Which was a big difference. I was completely shocked to go to a rave and feel completely safe. Like we used to go out. There was always one in my group.
Yeah.
Load of white boys, little like some of them quite short.
Yeah.
They always come back without their chain or their phone or glasses or something.
Shit.
But yeah, it was just the safest environment, and like it's good. Obviously, things have progressed, but there was an element of edginess that I kind of missed.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
So, I mean, you've done the MCing thing. Well, I say you've done the MC. You're doing the MCing thing, as I just say. Have you ever thought about committing lyrics to music, sort of like in a sort of more tangible way?
That's probably where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Because I'm still passionate about music.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably my calling right now, to do more stuff and create more tunes.
Yeah.
There's a guy who's like a good friend of mine, James. He's producing some quite nice music at the moment.
Right. Okay. What's his artist name?
James. Jimmy Neese.
Jimmy
Neese.
Jimmy Neese. Right.
Jimmy Neese. Yeah, check him out.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, I'm interested in doing some work with him maybe, and that would just be me still keeping the music thing going and doing something that's going to last a little bit longer as well. I've put in the hours doing gigs.
Yeah.
But I haven't got a lot to show for it.
Yeah.
It's
a very strange phenomenon though. Yeah. I find in jungle that, I mean, there's only really a few artists on that, on the hospital that will probably have like sort of artist albums in that way. And I know that the scene is changing a little bit. Like, you've got some of the female sort of like singers who are having like, their own projects coming out, produced by other, by producers. But it's something that we never really seem to address in jungle and drum and bass. Like, MCs were always for the live events. There wasn't any kind of push to get an MC onto, you know, vinyl or onto digital format. And it's always seemed a bit strange to me, because it provides an opportunity for producers to write in a way so that, you know, almost like in a way that an MC can, you know, really show his skills. But that's never really seemed to have happened. And, you know, any MC I ever meet or speak to, I always kind of want to make sure that, well, I say make sure, but I always want to sort of ask them, you know, are you getting anything committed to, you know, sort of like down, you know, as a track. So it's like, you know, an RV track, you know, that goes produced or produced by yourself even maybe, or in collaboration with. But would you be looking to do something, you know, very specific in that way? So like, you know, so an album, or are you just going to sort of like, you're just sort of like making tunes at the moment? Or?
I've had the idea of an album,
right? Okay.
An EP. It was on the list of goals for 2022.
Okay.
Like a meaningful album with messages in the tracks, and didn't create as many lyrics as I would have liked.
Right. Okay.
Focusing on other things.
Okay.
You've got to just kind of prioritize and pick out your top tasks.
Yeah.
For the year. So I've given priority to other things.
Yeah.
Whereas that's been like a slow burning thing.
Okay.
Which I'm still gonna make happen. But I think it's probably going to happen like 1 or 2 tracks at a time rather than going for the big album.
Because I think, but you know what? Are the tunes like sort of like, you know, 5-6 minutes long, or are they a bit shorter than that? Maybe?
Yeah, 5 or 6 minutes long.
Yeah, you see, because I wonder if that might be the problem. Because if you think about like a hip hop tune, you know, some of those hip hop tunes, an album might, you know, have like 12 tracks on it, and some of them might be only 3 or 4 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever, you know. And then, but there's this sort of like need to still write a full drum and bass tune, and then have an MC lyricise it. And I think what might, maybe you can speak to your guy, is that maybe that some of those tracks aren't quite as, so I'm giving you A&R voice. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's just something that popped into my head as I was thinking about it. Because, you know, because I think that puts pressure on the MC to like write all these lyrics for like 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And maybe the message can be done in like, you know, 2 verses or 3 or 4.
It depends on the approach. If you want to approach it to showcase a lot of lyrics,
right, okay,
then that's one way of doing it.
Yeah.
Otherwise you could just like create a couple of hooks.
Yeah.
Little chorus to put
Yeah.
in the track, so it's not just fully lyrical the whole track, but just little bits and spread out across the tune.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the approach.
I suppose. So, apart from Jiminese, are there any other artists that you'll be working with, or the artists that you would like to?
It's interesting, like throughout just working with people overseas, a lot of people are like, oh, we should make a track, and it's like, yeah, we should make a track.
Yeah.
We should make a track. And my list of people that I've said that to is just very, very long.
Yeah.
But nothing's really happened yet. So,
right, okay.
Yeah, there is a list of people, but it's like still not my top priority at the moment.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but the top priority is keep it real.
Yeah, enjoying coaching. Helping people,
getting coaching.
learning more about how I can transfer that support into other people.
Yeah.
And just taking the business to the next level.
Yeah. So you're focusing mainly on artists in the jungle scene, or artists and producers and singers and vocalists like yourself in the jungle scene. Is that?
I mean, not necessarily. Doesn't necessarily have to be
that.
jungle.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyone who's within the music industry.
Yeah.
If you're from a DJ or an MC background, or an artist or a producer, just someone that I can relate to. That's why I put myself out there to relate. Like when I did my coach training, it's like, you know, people would say, oh, I need some help with like my finances. I can coach you on that.
Right, okay.
Or like, I need to sort out my health. I can coach you on that.
Yeah.
Or my relationship. I can coach you on that. And it's like, you can't really be a jack of all trades.
No.
You got to be a master of none. So I find that I can relate to my people from the music industry. I get them. They get me as well. And that's how I'm well positioned to support them in covering all aspects of their life. Like I say before, like sorting yourself out physically, mentally, spiritually and emotionally, so that you can fire on all cylinders and have essentially energy on tap.
Right. So it's important. Would you say it's important for a coach to kind of have, I mean, to not mince my words, but to have their shit together, basically, because it's like, you know.
Well, look, let's use the example of a personal trainer in a gym.
Right.
You rock up for your personal training session.
Yeah.
You're waiting for the guy to come along or the girl. Your personal trainer comes up. They put out a cigarette quickly.
Yeah.
Come in.
Yeah.
Stinking of booze.
Yeah.
Like all messed up hair and stuff. And it's like, all right, hang on a minute. This person is helping me to get physically in good condition.
Yeah.
Look at them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I need to be that person that shows up as my best version of myself, so I can support other people to be them.
Yeah.
Right? If I turn up, if I'm a mess and I haven't got my shit together, how can I help you get your shit together?
Yeah, it's funny.
Right, so that's why the journey starts by applying everything you know to yourself.
Yeah.
So that you're in your best possible shape
To be able to help
physically,
others.
mentally, spiritually, emotionally, so you can help other people.
That's contrary to what another coach told me. It's very interesting.
Okay.
Because they felt that you didn't have to necessarily have their shit together in order to be a good coach. Okay. But I didn't really subscribe to that. I didn't think that, because a bit like yourself, like I said, it's like a personal trainer. If you turn up to a mechanic's house and he's going to fix your car and his car's mash up outside, do you know what I mean? You're not going to want to give your car to that person, innit? Do you know what I mean? It's like, it didn't make sense. Or like the German health minister? I hope I haven't got that wrong. I think it's the German health minister, and she's quite, a large woman, doesn't look very healthy.
That was the British health minister, wasn't it? Theresa Coffey.
Oh, maybe the British health minister as well. I don't know.
She might have changed. I think she got.
Maybe
she got
moved. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I just thought. I'm not saying they have to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I'm just saying, or whoever, Ronda Rousey. But I just feel like you kind of got to look like you're living a healthy lifestyle at the very least. I don't know. But then, do you apply that to every aspect of politics? I don't know. Maybe
life is full of contradictions anyway.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, it's probably, I'm probably overthinking it. But it was funny that this person was very almost got quite angry at me, because I was sort of, well, yeah, but you haven't got your shit together. How are you giving advice to other people? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean?
That's just an observation. Right?
Yeah, I just was noticing shit. Do you know what I mean? And they didn't take it too well. But then there's a lot of things I say to people that they don't take well. So it's like,
surely not.
Yeah, we'll be the first person. Do you know what I mean? And certainly won't be the last. But I hope it'll be one of the last. But we're working on that. So you'd meet someone, you'd set out a certain number of goals, and you make them accountable for, or go on. Sorry, I'm explaining it badly.
It's not always about goals.
Okay.
Goals are a big part of it, right?
Okay.
They're a big part of it, but sometimes it's not even about goals.
Okay.
Right? Sometimes it's just about having conversations. People just like to be heard.
Yeah.
People like to have be aware that there are different perspectives to the one that they've been harbouring the whole time.
Yeah.
And people sometimes need to realise that the more time they just spend up in their head listening to their own thoughts, the more complicated things are going to be. And there's easy ways of creating the space for you to think more consciously and to get better answers for yourself.
Yeah.
It's a little bit deep.
Yeah, it sounds it.
I've been working on this thing lately that helps you to essentially just switch off the thoughts and chatter in your mind. Right. And then think about things from a deeper level where you're more consciously aware.
Is it hypnosis? Or?
It's not really hypnosis, it's just a little technique where, imagine in your head, imagine you're under a shower. Right. You're in a shower, all this water that's raining down on you, that's your thought stream. Right. And the thoughts is switched on. Yeah. Doesn't stop. All day you go about your day. Yeah. You're inside your own head talking about things to yourself. Yeah. Judging things. Yeah. Commenting on things. Yeah. This is all stuff that you've learned throughout your life. You've pre-programmed yourself to think this way about everything, right? Yeah. Yeah. And if you're trying to solve a problem, and we're up here in our head using this kind of thought stream, we approach the problem from the way that we've been conditioned. Right. Yeah. All right.
And that's not always the right way.
It's not always the best way.
Or the best way. Yeah.
Right. So I find that there's a whole like ocean of wisdom out there. Yeah. And an ocean of expanse area for you to get clarity within your thoughts. But a lot of the time we just don't access the ocean. We're just in a cave on a little island when we're inside our own head.
Yeah, just drive yourself crazy, just like eating coconuts.
Yeah. So if we're able to switch off that thought stream in our head and just connect with the stillness of the moment. Yeah. And then ask ourselves the question that we're trying to get an answer for. Right. But just drop it as if you were dropping a stone into a clear pool of water. Yeah. And wait for the answer to kind of ripple up. Right, okay. Just to give it space and then think. That's when we've accessed that ocean of wisdom. Right. And we're able to get clearer answers rather than the answers that come from our pre-programmed mind. Yes, because I think this is what we were talking about just before, isn't it? Like, I have a tendency, and I know other people I know, have a tendency to you have this sort of like, it's like two voices almost. You have the narrative of what you want to be, and then there's this other thing going. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I really want to be, better at
this, and then he's like, you're not going to be better at this because you're rubbish. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so you got to clear that away and try and just get the clarity of thought, like in the sense of making sure that you're focused on that positive, outcome.
And that's massive for people in music.
Yeah.
They approach their work, and it's like before they even make a track, let's say, or write, but let's say make a track, they think, oh shit, I hope like Andy Z plays this, or I hope this tune gets a rewind, or that label likes this tune, and it's like you're already nervous and you're focusing on the outcome before you've even started. Yeah.
So you just said rewind, and maybe I wanted to say something about Chickaboo, but shout out Chickaboo. So it just made me laugh because it's like it wasn't about rewinds, people. But anyway, sorry.
But as an artist approaching your work, you can tell yourself all these stories in your head, which affects the outcome.
Yeah.
But if you just switch off that thought stream, and you can approach your work like a little kid throwing paint at the wall.
Yes.
Imagine like how good that would feel.
That would be well. It's funny actually. I don't think he even meant to do this, but I've got to shout out Forrester, Threshold, because he said to me, I don't know, maybe about 4 years ago, it was a little while back, and he goes, because I was talking to him about how frustrating it was that I wasn't sort of making, the tunes that I was making wasn't, I wasn't happy with what was coming out. He goes, Chris, remember that time when you didn't really give a shit about how the tune sounded? Do you know what I mean? You should just go back to that. And I mean, that was his little version of what it was. But I mean, it was essentially not quite as, sort of defined as what you're doing, but it was another way of saying a similar thing in the sense of, well, at least for that problem that I had, should I say. And just sort of to forget stuff and just sit there and write and not, overthink or, self-analyse, because all you're doing is sort of getting in your own way kind of thing.
Exactly.
And I think that is really, really hard to do, and especially when you're being creative and you've got people that you hear, or you've got music that I live with Subject 13 for fuck's sake. Like, you know what I mean? So every morning I wake up and I just hear like amazing music coming from the living room, and it's like, I don't want to make music today. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why would you? Because it's like he's making it already. But that makes no sense, and that's what started happening when I first moved here. And then in the summer, I was just like, no man, I'm alright. I can make tune, cha. And then I just started writing, just having a bit of self-belief, and like the tunes that I'm writing now, which most people haven't heard yet, I'm really happy with. Good. And they still need to be better, I think. And I think there still needs to be another level to reach. But I just, I'm always trying to kind of like keep that in mind, not to beat myself up about the tunes that I make. And if it's a silly, funny tune or fun tune, don't get too sort of hepped up on it. Do you know what I mean?
So apart from like not getting too attached to the outcome, what else has changed in your approach to the music that makes you enjoy it and produce better music recently?
Honestly, it's bringing the studio back here, because I had the space in Deptford, and I think that was counterproductive, because what was happening was I had to travel 45 minutes from Hoxton to Deptford, an hour almost, and it was like there's that idea of we're going to work, and it sort of worked. But what I'd find I'd sit there in that box and just kind of like fiddle, never get anything finished. And then now because everything's sort of here, and I can sort of maybe start a track, on a Tuesday, go to sleep, whatever, go out, do something else, and then maybe Wednesday go and sit back down straight away, almost immediately, and finish it. I feel like the results are coming better. Also, having music around me all the time. So Dave obviously being an influence, and then Rick as well. He's so he'll bang on the door and go, yeah. So I get instant feedback basically. So that's been a massive factor as well.
Nice. So environment.
Yeah. So the environment has changed.
Massive. You haven't got a journey. You can just rock whenever you feel inspired. You can sit down and
write. Yeah. So it's like I remember I came back from a date and literally sat down, because I was in such a sort of like happy space, because I was really happy how the date went, and then sat down and wrote a tune which I really, really love now. And it was so different to all the music I was writing at the beginning of the year, because I'd come through a massive breakup with some, with a highly enigmatic and problematic woman, but all the stuff that I wrote there was quite painful. Right, you know what I mean? Really to write, because it was like I was writing the tunes in pain, and then but there was something cathartic about that as well. So they had something different about them. But what I found was I wasn't focused too much on the technical side of those tunes. And then lately I've been able to go back to them and make them sound really good. Okay. So that's been another thing. And I'm also writing different stuff as well. So I've been writing on my hip hop, I've been writing house again, I've been writing techno. So, you know, that's been massively different. And just not being afraid to do that. But again, that's because of what's coming out of the living room. Or Dave's studio, sorry. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, we're doing a session now. It's like, I feel like I should be on the thing. Do you know what I mean? So, right. So, had a little toilet break, guys. So apologies for that. Well, you don't. It doesn't matter.
Too much information.
There was a lot going on, but I just sort of just was finished saying about how this was starting to feel like a bit of a session for myself, and and the tunes that I've been making and everything else has sort of massively improved, and hopefully you'll get to hear them all next year and stuff like that. So that's all positive. But while we were briefly offline, Ross, you were just breaking down something for me in regards to, you know, because I know that there's people that are watching this who might think, well, why won't a coach tell me, you know, so like if you've got a football coach or you've got some other type of coach, they'll say, stand there, do this, act now, don't act now, you know, this is how you behave in these situations. That's not what a life coach does, right?
Yes. So direct communication is an important part, like getting the message across and being clear so that there's no kind of ambiguity about what you're saying. Yeah. But as coaches, we don't tell people what to do. Yeah. It's not like, do this, do this, do this. Yeah. In some cases, if you're a mentor or a consultant, maybe you're giving advice. Yeah. But as coaches, what we do, we kind of might offer up a suggestion, ask permission to offer up a suggestion. Then it's up for the client to accept it or not. For example, someone's got a health condition or they're concerned about their health. As a coach, I wouldn't say, you need to give up smoking. You should give up smoking. Yeah. It should be like, okay, what could you do in order for you to take care of your health a little bit better? And then you would exhaust your answers. Yes. And then if they still haven't given me the answer that I'm kind of thinking might be the right thing for them to do, I might just offer up, hey, have you considered giving up smoking or cutting down on your smoking? Yeah. And then that's up for the client to take that on board or not, right? You just offer it up lightly. Yeah. And that's like, some people think coaches, they tell you what to do, they give you directions, and it's really not about that. However, what it's about is a transformation. Right. People come to me because they want a transformation. And sometimes you just have to do what it takes in order for them to get the best results. Right? And if that means taking my coaching hat off sometimes and talking in directly as Ross, then I'll do that as well. Because I just want to serve them as best as I can so they can get their results. Right? The parameters are there, we follow a set of guidelines, but as in life, I'd say sometimes you have to deviate from that path a little bit in order to get the best results for yourself or to other people, right? So it's kind of like, yes, there are guidelines, and I do my best to follow them as much as possible. But in order for my client to get the best out of the time they're spending, they're spending money on this time, right? So if I've got a solution for them or something that I think is going to help them, instead of just exhausting their ideas for 10 minutes and not getting anywhere, it's sometimes better to just be a little bit direct and offer it up lightly for them to take, rather than putting it there for them.
Because your client can't maybe be unable to see the wood for the trees sometimes. It's really obvious to you looking from the outside in, but they're not, because they're in the melee, they can't see it. Do you know what I mean?
They're in a hamster wheel.
Yeah, right? You know what I mean? Basically, it's just like running. Well, funny enough, it just reminded me, there's a documentary on Netflix. I think it's called Stoltz. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I might have to go and check that. But it's Jonah Hill, who's the Hollywood actor. I don't know if you know.
Okay, no.
You know, he's like with Seth Rogen, and he's in that sort of crew. And he has this therapist called Stoltz. I can't remember what the guy's name. It's not Eric Stoltz, because that's someone else. that's an actor, another actor. But what I'll do, if I can remember the name, I'll put the link in the description. But it's really, really good because, well, I thought it was interesting because that was his therapist, right? But at the beginning of the documentary, he says, Jonah Hill says, your friends want to tell you what to do, and then you go to a therapist or a coach or whatever, and they don't tell you what to do. Like, and really, you want it to be the other way around. Sometimes you want your kind of therapist or your, you know, life coach to tell you what to do, and you just want your friends to listen. Like, do you know what I mean? And that seems to, and it was just an interesting point of view, because I have always heard that, you know, life coaches in particular are not really supposed to tell people what to do, and I've never really understood why. Like, do you know what I mean? Because I get it, because obviously you can't impose. I remember being told in the past, you know, you can't impose your will on someone that you're coaching and everything else. But if you've known this person for a significant amount of time, maybe, you know, surely, you know, how you suggested it is not like particularly problematic. I mean, it's just like just making sure that they're getting the best, like you said, from, you know, from the service that you're offering. So why do you think, you know, because it's the International Coaching Federation, right, or whatever they're called, why do you think that you're not necessarily allowed to sort of say, well, do this, do that, you know, or whatever else? I mean, do you think it's just because then it's like they're living Ross's...
The main thing is it's about empowerment.
Yeah.
Coaching someone is empowering them to make the choices,
right,
to take control of their own life. Right, it's the same thing. If I've got a coaching session with a client at 3 o'clock and it's 3:10 and they haven't shown up, I'm not going to ring them, because it's not up to me to chase them and go, yo, you've got a coaching session today.
Right.
Because that's taking the power away from them.
Yeah.
All right, and that happens a lot. Music industry, told you. But yeah, it happens. And if I am to call them up and chase them, I'm doing them a disservice, because I'm not empowering them. I'll wait for them to contact me and they'll be like, so sorry, man.
Yeah.
And it happens. It happens, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you lay out parameters at the beginning. You set out your boundaries, you set the container.
Yeah.
You let them know what to expect in the coaching sessions. You kind of create a little bit of just partnering up with each other, so that they know what they can expect and they know what's expected of them. Right. It's all about empowering the client. Yeah, so that's why I wouldn't give them directions, and you probably won't see me online saying you need to do this. Yeah. I can share stories from my own experience. Yeah. Because I've got 20 odd years in music of making mistakes. Yeah. That hopefully I can help my clients so they don't have to make those mistakes, right? Yeah. I've got that experience. Yeah. But I won't tell people what to do.
Nah, you know what? It's funny. I just had a moment. Well, sorry, I'm just thinking. As you're saying things, I'm thinking of things, because it's almost like with. It's not quite the same, obviously, but it's like with A&R. Like, I can't tell an artist how to make a tune. Like, I'm never going to tell an artist how to make a tune, because then it's not his tune. If I'm telling him what to do with a tune, then it's not his tune anymore. It's, you know, but I can say, well, have you thought maybe about how this presents, or have you thought about this part, or have you thought about how this bit can transfer, you know how the change or the change up or whatever it is, or these edits, whatever it is, whatever element of the tune that I might think could be improved or could be worked on, I wouldn't tell the artist, do this, you know what I mean? Because then, you know, it's not your tune. I remember artists telling me, you know, very well-known DJs and, you know, label bosses and stuff, like, just telling them exactly what to do in a track. And you're sort of thinking, well, then it's not your...
Yeah, again, you're taking the power away from them.
Yeah, you're taking the power away from them.
Is you're asking open-ended questions.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
To kind of spark a bit of thought.
Yeah, 100%.
In the producer.
Yeah.
And get them to get a bit more creative.
Yeah.
You're not telling them what to do. You're just saying, hey, how about you've done A, B, C? How about D, E, and F? What might they be? Yeah. And then get them to think about it a little bit, and let's see what comes back.
Yeah. Because the thing is, it's funny. It's just because there's certain artists. Like, how am I going to, like? There's artists on my label. It's like Profane, who I love dearly, and he's one of the most original artists I've probably ever worked with. How am I going to tell him what to do? You know what I mean? I can't. And really, the conversation with him is never really about. I will just say, maybe that bit's a bit too loud, or that bit's a bit too long, or you know what I mean? I might just, that's about it. It will just be tiny things I'll say, but I'll never really tell him what to do, because I either like a tune or I don't. And most of the time I like a tune. But it does remind me of a little incident, and I won't name no names because it would be unfair. But a good friend of mine was, he thought he should give a little piece of notes, and some notes to a very well-known artist, who again I've known for years. And I said, you know, I want
feedback.
Yeah, because he was like, he saw his feedback. And I said, yeah, that's not feedback, man. You're just telling him what to do with the tune. He's not going to dig that. And he sent him an email about it, and then like we didn't get an email back for like about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then my man says to me, well, we ain't heard from him, have we? He was like, yeah, you ain't going to hear from him, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? And he said, I'm going to chase him again. So he sent him another email. Said, oh, do you think any more about that tune? And then this individual wrote back, said, I do not need any co-collaborators. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that sums it up, because he's just like, you're telling me how to do the tune, man. Don't tell me how to do the tune.
Everyone's got their own way of approaching the creative process,
absolutely,
right?
yeah.
And if you've got outsiders bothering you, sticking their nose in,
absolutely,
when it hasn't been asked for, danger.
Yeah.
Because egos get in the way as well.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, no, it's challenging for the artist.
So
they respectfully declined the offer.
Yeah. He just said, just come out my tune, man. What are you doing? Don't tell me how to make a tune. Do you know what I mean? It's like, he said it in a very nice way. But it's like, it's all love though. And if they both hear this story, they'll know who they are. Because it was the only time it happened. It was very funny. But it was an interesting response. And I was like, yeah, see, I told you. You don't need to tell my man to make tunes. What was going to
happen.
Yeah. And I mean, look, hey, I made the mistake on, again, top drawer artist, was doing a release for In Perspective, or at least I thought he was, and I made the mistake of sort of saying, oh, can I get more edits in it? And you just never heard from him again. Just like that was it, and that was that release done, and I've kicked myself to this day.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, 100%, because I wanted more edits in the tune, man. Do you know what I mean? So it was annoying, but I wasn't telling him what to make. But I guess in theory I was telling him how to make a tune. I could just say, well, look, can I wait for another one? You know what I mean? Maybe that would have been the best move to make. Now that's what I would say. But it's funny how you live and learn, and you sort of make these improvements, and you hopefully will learn and grow from that. But it's annoying because he's so big now, and it's just like
cool. But if you're willing to grow and you're willing to learn, that's very helpful.
I think it's important. Nah, I don't think some people are able to. And look, 100% we all make mistakes. I mean, I've made some very stupid mistakes very recently even. And, as much as I sort of don't regret the action, I do regret the way it was done, and, the timing of it. And, that was problematic, and it's probably put me at odds with people that I care about dearly. But I've just got to try and move. Not don't want to sound like I don't care, but I just got to try and sort of just take it aboard, and I made my apologies, and I've moved on. You know what I mean? And it's like
you can't change things that have happened.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And
you can change the way you react.
You can
try and grow from it. You can try and communicate.
Yeah.
Fix things if possible.
Yeah, well, with the people that I want to fix things with, because there's certain people that I have no desire to fix anything with. But we'll see. We'll see. So, do you know what I mean? I feel like we're going to charge you for this now. Do you know what I mean?
Let it out, man. Let it out.
It's like, yeah, man, it's all about my mum. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that's wicked, man. Oh, yeah, I've got to give a shout out to MC Focus, man, because he's doing, what is it he's doing?
Yes, got to big up Phil. Also coaching.
Yeah.
Come on, coaching.
So he's coming, right, brilliant. Yeah, this is what we need to see. I love it.
So, working with him a little bit. Got a little project on the go on the side.
Yeah.
He's also taking a dive into just coaching world. And that's it, full-time business.
Oh, big up, man.
And it's really interesting because Phil is an MC as well.
Yeah.
There's also Devious, Darren.
He's also a coach. He's a coach as well, yeah.
There's, who else? I saw someone the other day. Scammer, another MC.
Yeah.
Then you got Navigator and David Boomer, who are also they're mentors. So I think it's very interesting how there's a link. It might be a very faint link, but between MCs and coaching and supporting people.
But do you think it's because you're lyricist, so your ability to speak well, so to speak, and communicate well with people gives you that sort of like tool?
Maybe it's just something I've noticed.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's about when I'm performing, I like raising people up. And come on, get the energy levels up. And inspiring people to be a little bit better than they were yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's what comes across in my coaching.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at other kind of MCs as well who also do coaching. I just find it very interesting.
Yeah.
How there are a few MCs that are all about coaching and helping people. For me, like the lyrical thing, actually, I'm normally one of the quietest people in the room.
Yeah.
I'm a listener.
Yeah.
I'm not shy. Jump on stage and jump around. But I'm a listener, and I don't really get involved in many conversations.
Right.
I transfer those skills into my coaching, because empathy is a massive skill that really helps me to connect with my clients on a deeper level, and really understand them and really listen to what's being said in words and verbally, and the things that are being said without being said. I don't know what other guys who are MCs might be a little bit more vocal or do things in a different way. Everyone's different. And coaching is kind of for me anyway, at the moment, it's a one-on-one thing. So without working with these people, I'll never really know what their coaching style is.
Of course.
But I'm very looking forward to exploring. I'm probably going to work with Phil and Imola. Do some bits in the future where we might be able to just kind of coach each other and support each other. And I'm all about growth. I'm all about learning. Collaborating with like-minded people. Because together you're stronger, and just let's elevate people. As much as we can. Because
historically, it's always seemed to be, and there's no disparaging against anyone, but it always seemed to be women, doing the life coaching thing, and it always seemed to be a certain type of woman. Do you know what I mean? Like, sort of like the sort of yoga on the beach type. You know what I mean?
Okay, in your experience.
In my experience. But it's great to see, because I think, therapy, because I guess it's a form of therapy. I think it's so important, for everyone. You know what I mean? And I sometimes think that men have a slightly harder time sort of, accepting that they might need it or, want it. You know what I mean? And I think if, guys like yourself, Focus, and others are sort of, and especially, just from a personal point of view, like Boomba, as black men as well, and Navigators as well, DVS as well, are doing that. I think that's important. It's just, you want people from all walks of life, all types of people doing it. And so long may it continue. So thanks for checking me on that, because I didn't want to say anything.
No, you never know. I might disagree, or I might not know all the facts and statistics. Who is a coach and how many of them there are and what they will do.
Well, but I saw something. There was something that someone I knew went on in Ibiza, and like it was 35, 40 people. They're all coaches, and they were basically all women. And that's fine, and it wasn't, I think it was one guy there, and that's fine, but I was thinking, well, maybe someone like myself might not want to go to someone like any of those people necessarily to get coaching. Do you know what I mean? I'd probably and I have done, I'd much rather go to someone like you. And it's just about who you're comfortable with and who you relate to and who you feel can relate to you.
Who you can connect with.
Who you can connect with. And then, so like I said, someone out there might not necessarily want to come to you, they might want to go to someone that was at that convention thing. So, it's no hate, it's just something I noticed, that's all. But anyway, before I get myself cancelled.
It's very important as well at the start of a coaching engagement with a client that you have a session to get to know each other. Because you might not be compatible. There might be kind of personality clash, or the person might not be ready for coaching, or they might need therapy or counselling. Or I don't know, like psychotherapy, whatever.
Might see like deeper.
And if these things come up in the initial kind of discovery call, then it's probably more appropriate to refer them somewhere else. Rather than wasting their time, they're going to invest in coaching. But that's the best way you can serve them as well. But also, like that's the opportunity for you to connect with someone, and not only see if they're ready for coaching, but see if they like you.
Right. Yes.
Right? I've got to show up authentically as myself. This is who I am. This is what I will expect for you as a client. And if you're ready to move on together, you let me know. And it's about walking the path together, not pushing, not pulling, but simply, I'm the co-pilot. They're the driver, but I'm the one with the matches and the gas. You know, what I mean, to try and get it.
To get things going.
To
help them to get them out of
But the thing about human potential coaching, like I mentioned, it's about all these different aspects, like physical, spiritual, emotional, and mental. It's about firing on all cylinders. So imagine yourself. I'll give you the keys to a Formula 1 car, right? What's going to happen?
Crash and die.
your body, right? This vehicle that we've been given for our lived experience.
Oh, I see, right, yeah.
Just imagine. In order for it to function at the optimum level, we have to figure out how it all works. Right?
Oh, I see, right, yeah.
So like fuel.
Yeah,
we need to be able to put the brakes on. We need to be able to navigate circumstances like rain, snow, but like mental problems that come in, or just challenges. We need to be resilient. So I'm comparing ourselves to a Formula 1 car.
Right, I see. I misunderstood.
In the sense that to operate it at a maximum level and get the best out of it, we have to take care of it on so many different levels as well. in order to be the best we can.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I think everyone's capable of being a little bit better and pushing themselves to be further down the line with regard to their potential as a human being.
right, yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons why I gave up smoking. Because it was, it was because it was starting to be, I was feeling how it was starting to affect me, both the tobacco and the weed thing. You know what I mean? I've just stopped.
That's big, man. Well
done. No, I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
So for people that do think, oh, you still bloody, it's actually, I don't know, you probably won't be able to see that, but that's marshmallow leaf. That's what. Oh no, wait, is that the wrong side? Sorry, it's this side. It's called marshmallow leaf. I don't know if you see that, and it's just like tea basically, and there's no tar or no nicotine or anything in it, and it's actually a cure for sore throats. Apparently, if you Google it. So yeah. There you go.
So you found what works for you.
Yeah, man. And then the thing is, it's not like I'm smoking it all the time. It's just like what I found is when I'm doing these podcasts, I always like to have one to start with. It's just quite nice to have.
Relax, get ready.
Yeah, it's just like to smoke. Yeah, it's just like muscle memory really, more than anything else. And it's really weird. I don't know why I still stick to it, to be honest. But I'll probably get through this bag, and then I'll probably should be good to not.
It's quite a large bag. So how long is it going to last you?
I mean, the last one lasted me donkeys. But that's because I kept using it and then falling off and then using it and then falling off. And so I just got to make sure I don't fall off.
Yeah, that's it. You need a coach, let me know, man.
Yeah, no, I will do. Discount, yeah. Cool, man. Anything else you want to say? Any shout-outs?
Well, nice one for inviting me.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Come on, man.
It's been great to maintain contact with you since we met up in Asia.
Yeah.
Just to be able to hang out
definitely.
When I'm back in this country. So big up, man. And big up all promoters that have supported me.
Absolutely.
Like all around.
And if you don't,
all around Asia, all around the world, everywhere
book
else. Too many names to mention. I'm going to forget some people, so I'm not going to shout you all out. But you know who you are. I love you all. And yeah, man. Just good luck with everyone. I'm working hard to be a little bit better than they were yesterday. You know, you can do it.
Beautiful. Lovely. Cheers, man.
Thank you.
Until next time.
Yes.
See you again.
Keep it real.
Yeah.